Now you've seen the videos where we've been creating the roads, the TLB helping here and there, and just driving these twee-spoor roads up and down kind of keeps them alive. Eventually you get the middleman growing up a little bit. But for us to make ends meet, for us to survive, we can't keep buying feed, and these goats need to start earning their keep very quickly. As times are getting more difficult, and for that they need to be able to browse freely. You can't have many animals roaming all over the place and freely. Overgrazing is a real risk, and with the kind of rainfall we have here, we can sustain a little bit more than the Groot Karoo in the central Karoo. But when you see these hundreds or thousands of animals grazing an area, you can generally either assume it's extremely good management or very poor management of land use, and it's not sustainable. It's easy to judge that by looking at your ground cover and seeing what is there and what's been removed, what's been mined out and what cannot return, what cannot be put back, especially when you see rocky, dusty areas around towns that have been destroyed pretty much for decades. It'll take decades to repair, if at all. So we can't have that, but we do need to make a living, and to get that done we need to have the animals be able to browse freely. In the small quantities that we have, overgrazing is a product of the amount of animals and the time that they're exposed to an area. So if we can keep our animals just down to a small enough number so they can earn their keep, yet keep the time down that they spend per area, then they should be able to handle this area in front of us here, and then come back to their kraals at night where we can do just a little bit of supplemental feed in pellets to make sure that the nutrition is up, and add the boosters and supplements to their water and so forth. So that needs to be done, but the problem is that we need a road, and machinery is definitely too expensive now. So our plan is quite simple. We're gonna have to do this by hand. So we're gonna start at the bottom here and use the 4x4 to start working our way through the drift on the downside of the dam, which I'll show you now, and then start making a 4x4 trail so that we can get to the other side and start checking fences, patrolling fences, retrieving injured animals and so on. And the trail will be the main way of transport in there, and perhaps we can have a campsite or so there for the 4x4 guys, just to help the maintenance of the road. And having land like this does not make you wealthy, it actually makes you poor. So you have to figure that system out. You have to get that balance right, being able to work extremely hard and try to regenerate the land, and then just making ends meet with the animals. And that's why we need all the side projects and everything, and to build ourselves and to find ways to be self-reliant in an area like this. It's definitely not easy, and if it was easy, then of course everyone that did this wouldn't be struggling as much in this heat and with the time pressures. So that's what we're going to do, and these videos might likely become a series. We'll start now with an episode 1 type deal of the road building, so we'll be running the building episodes and the road episodes and trying to do everything in a kind of structured way like this. But let's go down there, then I can show you what we've got so far and how far we've gotten and what the plan is. This thing should harvest a little bit of water. That should be enough to, hopefully the goats can drink from it, but to at least get this area established a little bit. And it's been like this since the oldest times I could find satellite images of. And if the spillway is going to be here, I still need to build that. We can already get through this section here, which I'm going to go through now again. And then down here, over there, and then through the waterway over there, but we can't get that far yet. 2-track thing is the worst we want to do. And then obviously keep the middle short to prevent fires, dry bushes and stuff poking into our exhaust systems. So that's the safe and responsible way. And once we can get in there, we can actually start improving the place. We can start getting the goats to help us do regenerative here while they actually feed themselves, and hopefully start letting them keep so that we can continue to feed ourselves. In places you'll see little lines, which is where the wildlife move, and that's generally a good place to put your trails, because they find a path of least resistance. You can just ignore Lucy having a poop there. And the other thing to look out for is to just have the roads or the trails on a slope that doesn't cause more erosion, because water will get into the trails and run with the trail. Don't want that. Want these things to have a low impact and just give us access so that we can have a better impact on the veld itself as well as our productivity. And hopefully that'll work.